For the XR enablement track, we've got Logan Smith from Argyle Build. Their talk at AWE 2022 is called Augmented Reality in Microgravity. Hey, Logan, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. I am so excited to talk to you. Let's just jump right in. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do in the metaverse?
So I'm Logan Smith. I'm the CTO of Argyle. That's my day job. And Argyle is augmented reality for construction. And so my my big role is really connecting these digital twins, these metaverse digital data onto the physical space and how to make sure those are always aligned and make sure that we can interact with the metaverse cyberspace in meat space.
That is not a simple challenge. That kind of work changes with the number of people, the time of day, your connection.
And if you build a wall or tear down a wall as part of your process, we need to be able to stay aligned throughout all of that. So it's been a very fun challenge.
It's almost more than just what's there. Oh my gosh, but like the metadata of the spaces.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness, you're about to break my brain there. So, how often are you in the metaverse and what do you do there?
So being in the broader metaverse and getting to explore those spaces is something I used to do a lot more of when I worked in a studio setting where we would make a lot of custom experiences. And so we get to explore those technologies a lot. Now it's it's almost frustrating how I've gotten so sort of deep trying to solve some of these low level problems. I end up losing some of that exploration time.
And when you say low level, you're talking more like foundational core to being able to make
Right,
XR
right.
rather than
Not introductory, more trying to get the pieces to work together.
interoperability is a topic I keep hearing. We've done about six of these interviews so far, and interoperability of ideas across the metaverse has been a huge topic everybody is saying. What's one thing that you're hoping to share with your audience at AWE? Seems like there's potentially a lot to talk about when in augmented reality and microgravity.
I mean, my topic is very narrow. You could say niche. I think less than 1,000 people have ever been in space. So, as a total addressable market, I wouldn't brag about that to my investors. But I think the takeaway that I would hope for is that if we can challenge developers to design their applications, their interfaces, their technologies to work in broader environments and with broader users, then that helps us with all of our applications to be able to enable more people with more ability sets or situations to be able to use XR. And so I hope that people will take this as inspiration to broaden how they design their apps.
Do you have customers or clientele driving you to think about this very interesting space of how gravity might affect some of the sensors and tools we're using?
So I'm driven specifically there just by personal passion. I've always just been a space nerd. The real world uses for that particular technology are things like using AR in a moving vehicle where you can't trust the accelerometers to be able to feel the right thing, or in a setting that might be disoriented. My alignment patents, I was very careful to make sure that they could work independent of gravity, partly because that makes them also scale independent. So you can take in data from microscopes or from telescopes or anything like that and be able to still do those alignment practices. It's not necessarily just AR, but robotics, it's all the same sort of driving pieces.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad I asked that follow-up. That was awesome. So, turning it around just a little bit, is there something that you're excited to encounter or learn while you're at Augmented World Expo this year?
Encounter is the people. Events like this, the thing that I've missed over the last few years is getting to know the people who are passionately working in the space, to learn I'm very actively interested in computer vision and getting down to the nuts and bolts of that further, and I would love to meet some experts and see how people are pushing that field.
Awesome. Speed round. Do you
Okay.
have a metaverse avatar? If so, what does it look like?
I definitely don't have one. I treat my avatars kinda like my D&D characters. I want to have an avatar that is the part of me that engages with this particular space and explore new things.
Spoken like a true like technologist and designer who has the purpose locked in to the
Yeah.
outcomes. I love it. Is there anybody who has furthered your journey into the metaverse?
I think for the sake of the audience, I would shout community more than a person is the hackathon community. It has changed the way that I approach problems, and so many of my favorite people that I know in this industry I have met through hackathons. It's just a wonderful and empowering place. I think personally the biggest influence like individual is actually my co-founder and CEO because the problems that we are solving are they're very high initial investment, and having a CEO with enough vision and trust to spend multiple getting where we are now to actually have a product has been absolutely necessary, and I'm very grateful for her vision and trust.
Cheers to that. With all of the recent acquisitions and mergers that I've seen, right? Like the common thread that has been really notable for me has been a leadership vision for these cutting edge technologies, both today and where we're going to need to be 4 or 5 years, much further into the future. So that shared like vision and urgency is a fantastic mix in a leader like that. And shout out to previous AR Minute guest Scott Greenwald and the MIT Reality Hack. You're doing good work out there.
I love the reality hack.
Yes. Is there anything that we missed or anything that you'd like to share with the AWE audience before we go?
If you're a simultaneous AR nerd and space nerd enough to show up to my talk, I'm very excited to know you.
Space nerds and AR nerds, welcome. Awesome. This was Logan Smith, Chief Technology Officer at Argyle Build for the XR Enablement Track. Thank you so much, Logan.
Thank you.